Hey man, I want to talk about the Cleveland Browns. They're on the clock first for this today's draft. They have, as you can see right there, they have the number one and number four overall pick. The Cleveland Browns have been atrocious over the last 10 years. I mean, they have a one winning record over the last 10 or 11 years. When they went 10-6. The last winning season they had, and I believe that was back in 2007. They last year they went 0-16, atrocious, just very 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 bad. They drafted Myles Garrett, number one. Was he number one or number two overall? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they drafted number one overall last year too, if I'm not mistaken. But they took Myles Garrett. He had some, he was injured most of the times. The only thing I really know about Myles Garrett really dominating anything, I picked him in Madden on my team, and he was pretty dominant on my team in Madden. That's just about all I can say about Myles Garrett. But I mean, the jury's still out on him. He was hurt last year. Hopefully, he have a bounce back year this year. But the Browns they won less than 40 games over the last 10 years, with a potential they could have, out of a potential 150, 160 games, they lost. They only won not even 40 games, like maybe 38, 37 games. So that look, it's hard to be a Browns fan. If I like the Browns, man, them last 10 years would have been tough. I'm a Bears fan, and I had last 10 years haven't been that bad. The Bears have had some winning seasons, but nothing that they didn't really live up to expectations the last 10 years. They did go to a Super Bowl back in 2006, but the Browns have been worse than that. The Browns is the worst football franchise in the NFL. Period. It's not even close. How can you not win a game? You could not trip and beat somebody. You know what I'm saying? When they say that thing that any given Sunday somebody can win, it did not pertain to the Cleveland Browns. But they got the number one and number four pick. They need a quarterback because they have not had a good quarterback since Bernie Kosar. I remember back in the day they drafted Tim Couch. They got the young guy from Notre Dame last year. Apparently he's not really panning out. You really got to give these young guys a chance to develop. Nowadays in sports, these guys do not have a chance to develop. Well, he should have came into a situation to where he sit behind a veteran quarterback where he can learn the nuances of the game. Even if he does have nice physical gifts, mentally you have to be ready to play. And quarterback was one of the hardest things to play in sports, especially in football, because you're responsible for the offense. You're responsible for play calling in a lot of respects, getting guys where they need to be, making audibles at the line of scrimmage. So some of these guys are getting thrown in the fire too quickly, too soon, and then they give up on them in about 1 or 2 years. I believe he probably could have been, something in the next couple years, but as bad as the Browns been so bad that, what I'm saying, the fan base don't want to wait another 2-3 years. They want a slam dunk now. So they say that they like Saquon Barkley, and if the Browns truly believe that not one of these quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold or the kid from Wyoming, Josh Allen, which I don't know a whole lot about. I don't think a lot of people know a whole lot about him. And Baker Mayfield, or Josh Rosen from UCLA. If they're not really sold on none of these quarterbacks, go ahead and take Saquon Barkley from Penn State, the running back. They say he's kind of like Marshall Faulk, a guy that can route run, a guy that can catch the ball at the backfield, and a guy that can run with speed and power. So take him if he's if you think he's gonna be a transcendent running back, and then you could still pick up one of these quarterbacks at number 4. But if you believe you love one of these guys, then you have to go at the quarterback first. You have to go at the quarterback because the quarterback drives the franchise. You have to go with a quarterback. They cannot miss on quarterback again. Cleveland they're terrible. Look, if you're terrible drafting, then you're gonna have a terrible record. The record looks like how their drafts have been going. And they have not had really good coaching either. So hopefully they can draft the guy that they looking for, that they want, and get out of this rut of losing. The Cleveland fans are a great fan base. The last time they really had any good winning is when I was younger. I remember Cleveland Browns being good when I was younger. but they have not been, good since. So hopefully they can right the ship. They do have 12 draft picks in this year's draft. So, hopefully they can get some hits, and hopefully Myles Garrett and the guys that they drafted last year can take another step forward. I look forward to them at least winning 5 or 6 games. I mean, you got to win at least 5 or 6 games this year to call this year a success. To be extreme, you make the playoffs. But I don't see them making the playoffs unless if they draft a quarterback and Saquon Barkley is a transcendent runner and he has a good season, and the quarterback can have a good season, and maybe they can stick it to the playoffs. But the Browns have to win at least 5 games, man, to take a step forward, or the coach need to be fired. The coach, the GM, they just need to clean out all that stuff because it's just not working. The philosophy is not working. And right now they have a philosophy of losing over the last 10 years. People got to get that through their head. They haven't had a winning season. They have not tripped over a winning season or have a miracle season in the last 10 years. That's atrocious. So hopefully they choose the right players. They have the gavel at their disposal. They can pick number one. They can take anybody they want. A lot of people saying that Josh Allen from Wyoming. They say he has the attributes to be a great quarterback, but he played at Wyoming. He played with lesser competition. Baker Mayfield has his off the field troubles with getting arrested and partying, kind of in that Johnny Manziel mode. He is the former 2017 Heisman Trophy winner, but mentally, is he mature enough? You got Josh Rosen from UCLA. They say he can throw the ball really well, got great accuracy, got a great arm, but he's very political, and he has his his stance on his political aspects. So, and then you got who was the other guy? You got the kid from UCLA. I mean USC, Sam Darnold. Now, Sam Darnold had a good beginning of the year, but then he started throwing a lot of interceptions. And usually when you throw a lot of interceptions, he had a history with throwing interceptions. Usually that carries on into the NFL, because I don't really think you could teach accuracy, and that's the the saying, you can't really teach a quarterback to be dramatically accurate. He can improve on it a little bit, but if he throw a lot of interceptions, it usually carry on. Peyton Manning threw a lot of interceptions in college, and it carried on to the NFL. He threw a lot of interceptions in his first 4 or 5 years in the NFL. So, and my guy from Florida State, he started to throw. He threw interceptions in college, and he's throwing interceptions in the NFL. So, look, I'm not terribly in love with any of these quarterbacks. Take the running back, and then whoever falls to number 4, take that quarterback. They have 12 picks, so they should have a pretty good draft class. This can be a playoff or a franchise turning draft class for the Cleveland Browns if they draft correctly. But let me know what y'all think. Subscribe to the channel. I'm out.